Hey there, I'm Terry Thomas, and welcome to Terry's Next Chapter. Today, I'm so excited because I am starting an interview series, something I've always wanted to do, called Next Chapter Conversations. And it's going to be all about interviewing women who are also in that a transition period, creating next chapters for themselves to just inspire us all. And today, I'm super excited because I am interviewing one of my oldest and bestiest friends, Zoe, from way back in the day. And we go way back, and she always remembers better than I do as to when we actually did meet. So, Zoe, if you wouldn't mind telling everyone when, how we met,
Oh,
just
hi,
a little bit,
Terry.
because it's been such a while.
Yes, I do remember a little bit. We were thinking '08, but actually, I'm pretty sure it was the fall of '07, and it was to
I
do
always think
with.
it's 2005. That's what I always think. But you remind me that it's 2007. So
Yeah, 2007. I worked it all out, and it was when I was a life coach, and you were doing coaching as well, weren't you? And you were part of Coachville, I think, at the time, and they were running these they're running these 100-day challenge events that were free, and I signed up for that. And you were one of the facilitators, I believe. That's
I
the right
used to
word.
run something. Yeah,
Yeah, I used to run them, and
fun.
so I
Well,
remember
not
doing
the whole challenge. I didn't run the whole thing. Just a little bit. Just a little
just little
thing.
bits, but that was enough for us to become friends because I think,
Yes.
well, I'm pretty sure I then in '08 we really started to get to know each other more because I did another challenge as well, and then we kind of broke off from the main group and set up our own
Yes.
little group with some other people. But
Yes.
we started to become friends from '08, and I was very
Yes.
lucky that in 2010 you came over because I'm in the UK. You came over to
Yes. And I'm in the
LA.
U.S., upstate New York. Yes.
And I just assume everyone would know that, but no. So yeah, you you came over and stayed for a couple of weeks with me, which was fantastic.
Me
And so
everywhere. Best tour guide ever.
yeah, yeah, so we've known each other for yonks now. It's been brilliant.
Yes.
It's been really
We
good.
had so much fun. And we started out where I was hosting what's called Integrity Days, which
Oh,
is just a really great way to get productive things done, where we kind of get together with a group of people and work on a task together and
oh,
kind
it's
of
so
do
good.
check-ins, and they were super fun, and we got a lot done in those days. But that was how we met. They were awesome.
Yeah, I remember those integrity days. They were really, really helpful, very
Yes.
supportive.
In the
Yeah,
early days of coaching.
yeah,
That was the
yeah.
early days.
Early
Yeah.
days. That's right. It was, wasn't it? So that was, yeah, because I think, well, I don't know about yourself, but I know I got into coaching in '02, started to practice and learn and all that sort of thing, and then properly started my coaching business in '04, and then had my daughter in '05, which meant I was juggling a lot of things from '05 onwards. So I was sort of doing childcare, a bit of part-time work, and part-time on my coaching business. Uh,
Yes, I remember
do
when you were
you remember
building
that?
that. Or, well, you were actually in pretty much active. You had already built, and you were having
Oh yeah.
clients, and we're thinking, oh, wow, you're doing so good. And I
Oh
remember you were incorporating a little bit of your art in those days, more on the photography
yeah.
side, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yes, because yeah, good memory there because I forgot about that. Yeah, I was doing lots of posts on Facebook then, and I was also
Yes.
doing a weekly, well, I was doing a daily challenge for myself at the time on, I think it was Typeface then, like a blog. So I was doing a
Oh,
blog, and I did a 50-day challenge where I sort of I typed something every day for 50 days, and then I did another challenge on Facebook where I was posting photographs and some words around that. So I was very into my coaching. I loved it, and I did that until about 2014. And
mhm.
then, I'm going to say it's due to perimenopause, but because of I had quite an impactful one, which affected my confidence and my
Mm.
energy big time. So much so that I actually stopped my coaching business in 2014 because I just didn't feel congruent with what I was saying I was and what I was
Mm.
offering. And I was a lifestyle and well-being coach, and I just did not feel that at the time. I was really, really struggling.
Mhm.
And then, unfortunately, 2 years later, I say unfortunately, and it's funny now, I can look at this very pivotal moment in my life. I got stage 4 cancer, and it was a rare
Wow.
cancer apparently, and that was in the summer of 2016. And so I look back now, I mean, I'm here, thank goodness, and I'm very grateful for
Yes.
everything that's got me
Thank
to this
goodness.
point.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's quite a scary time. But I look back now and I think, oh, my 50s really, because I was 52 when I got that, 52, 53 roughly. And I spent the rest of my 50s working on getting better and healing, I suppose is the best way of describing it. And through creativity was the thing that really got me going with the healing,
Yeah.
because
It makes
I,
sense that you would pause
yeah,
your business though, because
yes,
you
it's the
just
right
really
thing.
needed to focus on yourself.
Yeah, definitely. It's funny they say about the timing of things and how I'd stopped that then, and then I got ill, but then I could focus on the illness, not on the illness, but on the sort of getting better, if you like. And
Yeah.
I was very privileged. I had the luxury of being able to do all that work on myself, have that time as well. That's what it did gift me, that lots of time.
Yeah.
Didn't give me lots of energy. I remember energy was the one thing that was very much stripped away. I never got back the energy that I'd had before, and I am still
Mm.
dealing with that on a day-to-day level. But I have so
Well,
much
you have more
more.
energy than most people that I know. So you going from before to now, maybe now you're more like the rest of us. I don't know, but you've always been
Oh,
a
that's funny.
powerhouse to me
That's so
anyway.
funny. Yeah, because I actually,
But
it's so
from
funny.
your
Yeah, 'cause I was,
side, yeah.
yeah, Terry, you've got a point there. I was a bit more extreme because I ran a marathon in 2011,
Yes,
and
you are
yeah,
a powerhouse.
so
You
I
are.
was very much into running. I was very bouncy. I was like a bouncy Tigger, used to call myself. Now I think of myself as much more like a snail. Well, I'm not
I
really
wouldn't
though.
go that far, but hear you. It probably feels that way, I
It
imagine. I
feels
don't
like,
want to
yeah,
discount how you
yeah,
feel. I mean, you don't
no.
come across that way, but it's,
Well,
okay,
put
I'll
it this
take
way:
it.
the only thing that can still talk, I mean, sort of still has a lot of energy, is the talking part of me. I love talking. And so my body, bless its heart, has gone through a lot, and I love it so much for the support it's given me, what it's got me through. And that's been probably in the last couple of years I've recognized that more, and so I'm a lot kinder, a lot more kinder to myself and my body. And I am going much more at a gentle pace now and listening to it more, much more in tune to it. My hand was forced in a way when I got the chemo and the operation. It really got me to sit with my dark skies, basically, and because it was
Mm,
like a weight. And so I've had to find a way to accept that. It's taken a long time. That didn't come easily for me, I must admit. But
wow.
I do feel in a much better place now, where I do accept the pace. I don't compare myself. I try very hard as well not to keep looking back and want something that I used to be. Um,
Ooh,
and I
that's
think,
inspiring in and of itself.
oh, thank you. Yeah, because
That's
it's,
so hard for so many
yeah,
people, I think.
yeah, it's been really, really challenging, I must admit. Um, I've had a lot of support though, and like my dear friends have got me. They're my lifeline, I'd say, actually, keep me going. Plus, there's I'd like to mention Sharon, who runs this group called One Voice. Her company's called Verdegree, and she does a lot of good work in communities through funding. She gets funding for her work. So I joined that about 3 years ago, and you start off with like begin to change behind the mask, these little, but it's beautifully done. It was for women. She does lots of other stuff as well, but for me, I mean, I went from not, I used to scurry away out of the group. My confidence was rock bottom. I felt very pointless, actually. I didn't know what my purpose was. It was a
Mm,
whole, I was in a really, really dark place. And started going, I didn't even start going when I was first told about the group. I just couldn't get there. And then eventually I felt, right, come on, Zoe. So I went along, and the first few months, I suppose, I would go to the thing. But as soon as it finished, I was off. Like, go away. And I wouldn't say
mm,
boo to it. I wouldn't talk much. Oh, it was very hard. But through that support, and it was really gentle, I felt very safe, and we trusted everyone. And we had creative, it was just through poetry, through music, through drawing, little things like
wow.
that. I got to build my confidence. So much so
And
that,
you're already so artistic, so it just sounds so
oh, yeah,
perfect for you.
yeah, actually, yes, because I have got a creative background as well. I did a textile degree years ago, so I got a very arty kind of vibe going on, and yeah, I always look back at my child and think I used to love making things for my toys, my dolls, and chatting. So it was funny how I ended up doing textile stuff and then eventually becoming a life coach because I just love chatting to people and I like hearing, finding out about people. So I do laugh about that. But but yeah, so I through working with One Voice, it's only been since last year, I'd say, that I had the confidence. We do events for International Women's Day, we do performance pieces, and I actually was part of that last year and this year. So that was really powerful. And last year, Sharon recommended I go to the local college to check out the courses there. So on the day, I didn't expect to be signed up for a course, and by the end of the day, I'd signed up for a foundation course, arts foundation. And funny enough, I'd always wanted to do that because when I did my degree as a mature student years ago, I could tell the difference between those that had done a foundation course and those that hadn't. They were just so free. It was fantastic. And I remember thinking,
now, what's a foundation course? I guess I do want to know the difference.
Yeah,
is that like a
yeah.
like what you would do before going into a 4-year degree? Just
Yeah,
out of curiosity.
yeah. So over here, some people can go from what's called A levels to a degree, art degree, say. Some people can go and do for a year a foundation course. So it's you don't have to do that to get on the degree, but it's kind of gets you to experiment a lot more with different. So you can work out what kind of area you want to specialize in, perhaps.
Oh, that's
You get
cool.
to try lots of different things. So
yeah.
I've always wanted to do one of those. Anyway, by the end of this day, I'd signed up for one. I was so giddy, so excited, because I'd gone through all the past stuff and lack of confidence. And there I was, signed up for this course as a mature student at 60. I went and signed up for a 1-year course.
And what was it? What was the course called? What was the course?
I think it was just Arts Foundation in, an Arts Foundation in, it was in art and media. And it was there's a word I can't remember now, precursor to doing the degree. Introduction, I think it was. And anyway, so I did that. That was amazing. And my confidence just soared. And I can remember even like that was just last year. And I was so nervous and so lacking in confidence that I went and along to the college the week before I was supposed to start to check it all out. And I was really anxious and all this sort of anxiety was creeping up. Anyway, by the time I'd gone through the 1 year, I had a final year exhibition. And in fact, it was it was transformative really for me through the art process, because my confidence grew. And without realizing, one of the projects, I decided to go there and actually face a lot of stuff that, like the scars that I had from my operation a few years back. So I was able to use that as the theme for the final project. I was able to take photos, do some artwork, and through that journey, it was very, very cathartic. It was very moving for me, and I realised that actually was creating a lot of healing for me. And this is actually a piece behind me. Funny enough, I did for So I was able to. That's basically an impression of my scar that I've got, and through the inks and the paints, I didn't know what colour it was going to end up. It's hard to describe the process really when it's coming from within, and without it sounding a bit too wooey, but it was very intuitive, shall we say, the art process, the journey that I went on. I did lots of work building up to this.
It was inspired.
Yes,
sounds like
it was very inspired
from within.
Yeah, it was within. It was very, very within. So I now realise I'm an abstract expressionist artist. It's how I define myself.
And it's beautiful, the use of color. I don't even know how anybody would do something like that.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Yeah, because it's sort of like tentative steps. I'm now wanting to go out into the world, take my passion for healing, what that means different things to different people. But I now know that through art, you can connect on a deeper level with what your body needs to heal, and it will guide you. It's amazing.
Wow.
So yeah.
Wow. Well, tell us a little bit about the process of this painting. Like, how did you create this?
Yeah. So this, without sort of boring everyone, basically what process.
I don't think so. Well, I'm fascinated. I hope people aren't bored.
Oh my gosh, I say that just because I sort of worry. I suppose that talking about all the different materials, but perhaps someone out there might have want to have a
Yes.
go at something. But this was
And not even know what exists. You know what I mean?
yeah. So this is through mark making. So I'd started this journey with some. It was black and white with some pastel, not pastel. Sorry, there was the graphite pet stick that I used, and I was just making a mark. I took photos. I was trying to do this. There's a Japanese process where things that are broken, you mend them using gold, and so I was
Oh,
putting
I've heard
gold
of
on.
that. Yes.
Yeah, I can't remember the name now, but it was. So that was my starting point. Really, was taking actually facing it, looking at the scars, and I took photos of them with the painted gold. There was another one with using this ink that was red. There was all this sort of process at the start of exploring what these marks meant to me and taking it a little bit further, stretching it each time. So I started to explore, well, if I was to drip in inks down there, what would happen there? And then I also looked at making tape art. I love using tape to make my art, just rolls of tape, cutting that up, creating the shapes and the marks with that. So this
So
one I
cool.
made, well, this one actually was from the tape part of this. There was a picture I did that I didn't like. I just didn't resonate with it. So I actually cut that up into strips, and then I cut that up into pieces that I made. So there's little pieces here, the darker pieces. And then there was
Wow.
a tape that I made from tissue paper, capturing the drips that had run down. It was amazing. It was so exciting. Because
Wow.
it just felt so right at the time. So that's how I created the tape art. And I did. There's a few other. It was a series of them I did in the end for the final show. And there was one piece though. Gosh, I was exploring different types of tape to get texture, and there was carpet tape I found at a DIY shop that's very it reminds me of bandages, and it's what you stick under carpets and so forth. And
Okay, I get
like
it. To make the
mesh, yeah.
carpet stick to the
Yeah, so it's like a
the
mesh. So
floor or whatever.
I'm going to try experimenting. But it's very experimental as well. I really would encourage anyone out there. They're just going to try something. Just be brave. Just experiment. You never
Yeah,
know what
I didn't even
come out
know what you're talking about exists. Like it's so
of
cool.
it. Yeah, well, it is. It's just, and it's so incredibly, and you'll know when it's right because you get this buzz. It was amazing. I felt like
Mm,
something else was taking over me in a weird way. Um,
wow.
so that was what was happening. So on this third piece, it was the last of the three, the pieces I was working on. I explored with molding paste. I think, paste to emulate the marks of the scar and everything. And then I put this tape over the top that was like it looks like a bandage. And then I thought, oh, it didn't look right leaving it white. So I explored dripping inks and I was trying different colours. And in the end, and I could feel it was really an amazing experience. I could feel in the area where I'd had the operation just this weird feeling. I just felt like really anxious and stuff.
Wow.
And I was putting off doing the colour with the inks, dripping the ink on and seeing the runs of it sort of coming down through the scar mark and everything. And as I started to do that, I could feel this shift and I started to sob. I didn't
Oh,
expect that
wow.
at all, actually, with this
Yeah.
process. But it was so deep, and I was just sobbing. It was all this pain was coming up. So it just shows you
Wow.
how art it's incredible. It's really incredible.
Yes.
Um,
Wow. And even though you've always been artistic, really, this has just brought a whole new level or
yeah,
maybe even new mediums, all
yeah.
that.
Oh my gosh, I feel like I've just started. I feel like I've just started my life.
Wow.
Like I'm at a
Oh,
new.
that's so
It's
cool.
like the
I got
beginning.
goosebumps when you said that. Oh my God.
Well, I think they call it a second spring or something. I just feel, and in again, there's somewhere, I think it's China or Japan, where they actually celebrate turning 61. I think it's like this artist Hokusai. If you look him up, and he did a lovely quote about when he was interviewed about his art or whatever when he was in his 80s. I think he said, "Oh no, I discount everything before now. This is where I start." And they have a ceremony of a new beginning at I think it's 61 or 60, and I've taken that in to heart, and I feel like yes, I'm even with what I've been through, it actually it does matter and it doesn't matter. It matters because it's actually helped shape me as a
Mm,
person, as an artist, but it also kind of hasn't defined me now. I felt like it did before, but now I feel like no, I've got so much going on in my life, good stuff, that there's more than I'm more than just about that happening, that thing that happened.
yes.
Yes, it helps me. I feel like more connected with that part of me now. in exploring other things about my journey that might need healing, and perhaps helping other people with that as well. Not going, but just on a
Yeah,
level where
that's got
it's
to be so
accessible.
inspiring.
Yeah, because it's just a level where it's accessible. I don't want it to be where it's like therapy. It's something I want to be very gentle and nurturing, so that people feel safe to make a mark, and just see where it takes them. Obviously, I was doing a course; it was different, but I want to explore that for me personally in my studio. I want to keep exploring. At the minute, my thing I'm working on at the moment is the emotion of line. So I'm looking at that as an artist and working out how different lines affect us emotionally, and how I could take that into something healing, I suppose. So that'd be good.
Wow. So that's kind of like your, do you see that as your next chapter, or do you see like this whole process of exploring art? Like, what do you see
Oh,
happening in your next chapter? Because
yeah.
it's
And I must say,
already
Terry,
been
thank
so
you.
cool.
Well, I'm really glad that you've mentioned that, and that you've interviewed me, because I am so excited about your project, about the next chapter, because I hadn't thought about it like that before, and now I do, and it's incredibly exciting to think this is my next chapter. I'm just starting my next chapter, so I'm taking on board everything from the course, and I've got a place on the degree, the art degree, which I'd love to do, but I'm taking a year out at the moment just to find my feet with everything, with what I am about as an artist. I want to explore that further and see what I can create at the studio. But also, back to Sharon at the group One Voice.
Yes.
She actually um, got some funding to interview people from the group. I highly recommend, if you've got time, people to listen, to check it out on Spotify. It's called Journey of Change.
And we're going to put a link
Oh yeah.
in the description for this video.
Oh, that's cool, because she interviewed me about my cancer story, and it does go to hope. If you listen to it, it's about hope, and how I lost that at the start, but how I found it again, and how it
Mm.
led me to where I am now. And I am full of hope now. And I feel quite emotional saying that, because there was a time when I really wasn't. And so, yeah, so that's really powerful. And that's something that I'm very, very proud of, that I've had the opportunity to do that this year. So that's just been released. That's coming out, my podcast, my interview, if you like.
Yay.
She's given the opportunity to run some workshops, creative workshops in the group
Oh,
for free, which I just so want to do more of that for people who've had
what
lots
will
of
your workshops
trauma.
be about? Do you know?
Well, I did a series of 4 with her support, and they're just beautiful, because where I wrote meditation on. So, for example, there was one about finding your voice, and I wrote a meditation about that. Very safe, very simple, very beautiful and gentle. And then at the end of that, I follow it up with a little art project. So we got to put down on paper things that had come up in
Oh, wow.
the meditation, very positive words. And then I got everyone to make a megaphone, and to speak out and say their word or whatever it was, and make a sound or a noise. And that they know me, the people I work in that group, and I had the honour of running this with them, with their support, and I got really positive feedback for that. So that was really
Of
inspiring,
course, it
building my
sounds amazing.
confidence. Yeah.
Where so you basically just are taking people through, or at least this one where you meditate, so they get kind of in that quiet space where they get to get in touch with their own inner being, and then they can
Yes,
channel it into
true.
a little art piece for themselves.
Yeah, it is. It's lovely. Just very simple, just so simple, and because I just want it to be really safe and just gentle, just really gentle and kind. I just want it to be about love and kindness, and gentle actions, which I think through a meditate. I mean, there's people in the group, for example, someone who's never meditated before, and she was raving about it afterwards. She'd never experienced a meditation, and so I just feel that there's more of that I want to do. That's in my next chapter. I want to
What
explore
a
more of my
beautiful
artwork.
next chapter.
I know it's been very colourful, very creative, unless I do black and white, but I don't think I'll be doing that. But yeah, it's
No,
very
that
good.
can be very beautiful too. You know what I love? Just a
Can be.
sidebar. I love black and white with like a pop of color. It's cool too, right?
Yes,
But I
that's
guess
very
that sounds very 80s. Is that very 80s of me? I don't know. But
well. I think it's lovely, because I've actually been, funny enough, I have started my current thing about the emotion of light. And I have started again with mark making with a graphite stick. I think that's just my starting point and see where it goes. It's very, very exciting
Yeah.
because I don't know where it's
I
going to
love how you start there. I mean,
go.
just to talk a little bit about like recently, Zoe actually came to visit me here in the States this summer, and we had the best time.
It's
And we were at
fantastic.
lunch with my daughter and my
Yeah.
cousin, and you were showing them about that. And now my daughter's been doing it. She's been drawing more. So you're
Oh,
just
so good.
inspiring all over the place. I just want to say, like, everywhere that we went, you just connected with people. You're just so inspiring. I
Oh,
love your energy. And I'm so looking forward to seeing where you go with this and where you
thank you.
take this.
Oh, thank you, Terry. Yeah, thank you for letting me share my story. It's very empowering, and I love you dearly, and thank you so much for that because we don't often get our voices heard, and so it's what you're creating is amazing. The space
Mm,
to be heard and to share their story is just is so valuable, and to share the next chapter. I mean, that's a huge one, isn't it? Because sometimes we can feel very stuck and not know what that is. I don't think,
yeah,
well, I don't know how it's going to shape, but I just know I am at the start of this next chapter and I'm really grateful
yeah.
to share it with you.
I think it's cool because I do think that there's, I do think more and more women are tuning into that and opening up to that as we've, even I don't know. I can just say about the U.S. culture, it's kind of shifted where people are more willing to change jobs and not stay stuck in one thing for their whole lives. But I am excited about this movement where it does seem like more and more people are open to creating a new chapter like later in life. And it doesn't have to be in later in life. You can create a new chapter at any time. But like especially for because I just think we have so much in us that we want to give, especially I think as women, because we've been on this path often, not always, but often of having a career, raising our children. And so that as we're coming into this next phase where we're
So,
like, okay, what do I want to do now?
yeah,
My children are all adults, they're living their lives, and I'm proud of them and I love who they are as human beings. And now it's like, what do I do? And I know your lovely daughter's in school as well. And
yeah.
so it frees
He's
you up.
20.
And so it
Yeah,
just makes opens
yeah.
it up for the world is our oyster, as they say.
It does
Right.
actually, and I think you do hear about empty nesters. Is that the right term? Where it's very common for if you have been raising children. Um,
Hmm.
I don't think it matters whether you've been raising children or not. Actually, there is. I think you have these
That's
moments in
true.
life, don't you? You're right, actually, where there's these shifts in energy, in situations, whatever is influencing that. Could be jobs, could be family, could be
Right.
parents, whatever. We're constantly is it in that
Yeah.
flux, in that
Like
flow?
when you're just ready for a change kind of thing.
Yeah,
You
ready
mean?
for change. That's
Yeah.
it. I don't think. Yeah, so when it's constantly happening, isn't it? So I think to find it as a chapter, as an extra, it's a really good way of doing it because you can then get a little bit more clarity. Oh, well, that was a chapter, and I'm now about to start. What do I want for this new chapter? So
But this
I'm
one.
really excited. It's very exciting.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much for sharing today. Is there anything else you want to share or inspiration for anyone who might be watching
Um,
to close out?
Watching and they would like to follow me on Instagram. I'm going to be very brave here because I do still shy
Ooh.
away from posting. So hang in there, people, if you are going to follow me. But it's called Love That Blue. It's LUV that blue, BLUE.
And
Can't
I'll
say
pop a
blue.
link in the description for that as
Yeah.
well. So we'll
And
put the
that's
the
yeah.
podcast that you were talking about as well as your Instagram link,
Yeah.
if that's the best way for people to connect with you and see what you're up to.
Yes, because I am going to start that in my next chapter. I am going to be posting more things that I'm working on. So if people want to see the start of my journey by checking it out now, they'll see my final show. Some bits and bobs were posted there,
Hmm.
and then I will be. My intention is to post some more things going forward. I've said it now.
I love that. I'm so excited. Well,
So,
thank you so much, Zoe. This has been so much
oh,
fun. I
thank
always
you,
love hanging
Terry.
out with you. We
Yeah,
always
I
have the
love it.
best time.
Thank you, love.
And yeah, thank you. And thank you
Mm.
for joining us and watching this interview with Zoe, one of my besties. And if you like this and you want more of this, please subscribe to the channel and we'll go forward with even more. All right, great. Have a good day. Oh, hey. Sir Napsalot has something he wants to tell you.